recently, I would say this last month, we're doing over 40K in sales in 1 month. So that's something I would have never imagined back when I did our pre-launch, because we were just barely making $1,000.
At Foundr, we're leading an educational revolution in training the entrepreneurs of tomorrow. In this series, we're talking to our own students to discover how they're building the businesses of their dreams. These are real, everyday people who have made it happen. Now, before we jump in, our lawyers have told us to tell you this. Of course, we can't guarantee you'll have the results like some of our stories we're about to share in the show. And as you know, with any business, it's a lot of hard work in addition to completing any online course. And with that said, welcome to From Zero to Foundr. Hey everyone, Molly here. I'm the Community Manager for Foundr Magazine, and welcome to this series From Zero to Foundr. Today we're talking to Lisa Lin, one of our Start and Scale students, who has an amazing product range for new mums. And I'm very excited to hear her journey. Her packaging is amazing, so let's jump into it. Hello Lisa, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me today. I guess before we jump all into it and speak about your journey, tell me a bit about you and your business.
So I'm in the wholesale supplement space. It's a family business. My parents opened a business 20 years ago, and me and my brother recently took over the business probably 3 years ago. And it's been, I guess, like a job, you could say. It's not very exciting to us. This is the first time we did something that's actually we feel passionate about. So it's very exciting. Very different sort of feeling to just working a day-to-day sort of job and just earning income.
Amazing. And what exactly is it that you do, and what's the business that you run?
So we just launched a protein supplements brand called Hey Mama. So we provide lactation protein smoothies to new moms who are just starting their breastfeeding journey. We provide like superfoods, proteins, and the lactation aspects of it, all in one basically.
And what inspired you to create Hey Mama, your brand?
It started off with probably my sister-in-law giving birth about a year ago, and I was over her house and I was just looking at all the cookies she had on the counter, and I was like, oh, how many cookies are you eating a day? She's like, oh, maybe about 4 to 5, and I was just blown away. And I was looking at the nutrients inside these cookies. I'm like, I hope they're working because you're eating a lot of sugar and calories. And she was like, oh, there's nothing else on the market. And I'm like, okay. So I went online and I looked up the healthy options, and I couldn't find any in Australia. The only brand I could find was in America, and shipping was like $80. And I was like, no way. There's got to be something here. We gotta do something about this, because I'm pretty sure my sister-in-law is not the only one who's taking these cookies, and they want an alternative solution as well. So yeah, that's how it started.
Amazing. So you've always been interested in the health and fitness space?
I guess so. Well, it started with my parents getting into supplements, and then I do go to the gym a lot. I do have friends who are in the fitness space, so I sort of fell into, I guess you could say. And I do talk to our suppliers, and sometimes they talk about, trends and stuff like that.
Amazing. And from here, actually creating your brand, Hey Mama, was your sister obviously your inspiration, but did she help with any of the exact products that you ended up launching?
No, she did. So I would just do I'll just ask the questions, just trying to get a feel of like what her actual problems and issues are. And yeah, everything else was probably just online, the program, and talking to focus groups on Facebook and stuff. Yeah.
Amazing. And did you end up starting your business with just the one product, or did you actually go guns a-blazing and start with many?
Oh, no way. Because I've never done a business from scratch before. So I started with one product, the Lactation Smoothie, and I only did one flavor as well. So yeah, I just wanted to keep the risk minimum because I have never done anything like this before. Yeah.
Amazing. And tell me a little bit more about your Lactation Smoothie. How did that come about?
So the Lactation Protein Smoothie came about from looking at the American brand I mentioned. So I was like, I wanted to replicate something similar to what they had over there. So I bought a sample and I looked at the ingredient list and talking to some formulators and lactation consultants. And it was a bit of a journey in the beginning, I must say. And we did come up with an ingredient list. And then I was like, I wanted to be sure that it's safe. So I went on Upwork, so freelance and stuff like that. And I found a lactation consultant to double check the formulation to make sure it's actually safe, and she would approve as a lactation consultant. Once I got the green light from her, just the process of talking to manufacturers and formulators and trying to negotiate with them on a very small MOQ, so minimum order quantity, because I'm starting off, I have no idea if it's going to work or not.
Amazing. And, you know, because you come from the supplement space, you kind of knew there were some hurdles that you might be faced with, like FDA regulations and things like that. Did you come across the same hurdles when formulating your smoothie?
Yes, I did. That's why it took a little bit longer to do, because we're in vitamins. So I've never done anything in terms of powder before. So I did have to talk to like food consultants as well, technicians, and see if, you know, same rules apply for, you know, compared to vitamins. And actually, it's not as hard as vitamins, which was really good for me. So we launched a lot faster than I expected, to be honest. And COVID sort of helped, because a lot of manufacturers had a lot of spare time, you could say, to help me out and talk to me. Yeah.
That's awesome. And it definitely helps, you know, having that free time to kind of go back and forth. But how did you go in your manufacturing process?
So I've talked to the manufacturing company in the past, but I didn't order from them recently. But so I had their contacts. I did contact other suppliers as well through Google. Just keep on Googling, calling, and then one manufacturer may say, oh, we don't have the capacity to take your order, but maybe try this manufacturing company instead.
Amazing. And what did you end up settling on your manufacturing process in terms of, you know, your packaging and things like that? You've got an amazing brand, which is super exciting, and your packaging is it just screams so much fun. So when you were actually developing your idea and the manufacturing process, how did that all come about?
With the manufacturing of the packaging and stuff like that, so I got a lot of inspiration from like the major mama brands in the States, because I love the packaging. They're amazing. So I was like getting inspiration from that. And then lucky, my brother, who's also my business partner, he can do design. So he was just putting things together. Then we found a local Australian supplier, because like Greta says, don't go to China straight away, because you never know if it's going to be a good quality or not. So we got a design and we got an Australian supplier, and we just ordered about 100 boxes just to try it out, and then sent it out to like mamas to see what their feedback is. And once we got wow, it's amazing, we knew, okay, this is good, we can scale. Yeah. So we went to Alibaba and obviously found a supplier who can do a much larger scale at a reasonable price. Yeah.
Incredible. And you just touch upon doing focus groups. How did you find those focus groups? Do you think that they really helped propel your business and like your launch in particular, getting that feedback directly from mums?
So it's a process of going on Facebook, like these female groups called like like-minded bitches, and start and scale a group as well. So basically just asking them, what do you think about our product? Would you want to try it or not? And we did send out some samples, I probably sent about 100 samples to 100 mums. And once they tried it, they came back and said, where can I buy this? Can I buy it now? So I was like, okay, now we have something going here. Like, this is something we can do straight away. Yeah. Had the confidence basically. So using these focus groups was mainly to get the confidence that, yes, this is a product that is desirable for that market.
Perfect. That sounds like really, really interesting. And I guess, did you just send the one flavor that you had already kind of manufactured with the Lactation Smoothie?
That's right. Yes, that's what I did. Yeah. Like a very small sample pack, about 3 sachets, and it was chocolate. You know, chocolate being the most popular flavor, of course.
Amazing. And circling back to, you know, your branding and things like that, do you want to tell whoever's listening a little bit about what your branding looks like?
I could show you. So that's our product itself, and then our box. So the main thing of Hey Mama is just having these affirmations and motivational quotes. So motherhood's a journey and life-changing. So what I've identified with our target markets, I mean, having a good product is important, of course, but it's also about making, like, how does your product make the person feel when they receive it? That's the most important thing. No matter how great your product is, if they don't have a strong connection to it, incentive to even look into your product even more, then there's no point. So I did spend a lot of time like researching like popular brands who are killing it. Basically, they're all about branding. So whatever products they did, their target market loved it because they understand their emotions. So yeah.
I agree. And for all those that are listening, your colors are very pastel, blues, pinks, kind of got like an animated sort of feel to it. How did you land upon such like a persona for your brand in particular?
Oh, that was a bit of process because I was looking at the market. Everybody has the same sort of look and feel. It's nice, I gotta say, but there was no pop of color. And I'm just looking at our personality. I prefer to be a little bit more real and a bit more fun with things because motherhood's hard and sometimes you need a bit of a laugh. And it's just a motivational kick as well. So, and with the colors, I wanted it to be bright, bold, not bold, but like different. So yeah, that's how we landed. We chose pink and blue because obviously we wanted to be a bit neutral about everything. Yeah.
Perfect. And you also have a really fun tone of voice. How did that come across? Were there any brands in particular inspired you to kind of have that tone of voice for your brand and your website and things like that?
Yes, Frank Body. Definitely it was great talking about Frank Body a lot. And I fell in love with Frank Body years ago. And I promised myself if I ever was to create a brand, has to have a cheeky, sort of fun persona. So when creating a brand voice, I remember telling my brother that I wanted Hey Mama to be sort of like a person. Like if you're talking, if a brand was a person, what would she sound like? How would she sound like? So I wanted it to be like a best friend, a friend who you could talk to and could give you advice because she's been there. So she has your back. So hence our tagline is, we've got you.
I love that, and I think it's so fun and it's so playful, and I'm very lucky that I've actually had an unboxing experience with your products, and I was blown away because you also chuck in little incentives like your little celebrity lollipops, which I think are so cute. What gave you that idea?
Celebrity lollipops, I have no idea. I think just listening like Frank Body, I think they did some random promos when they launched a new product, and I was thinking maybe we could do something like that as well, but something a little bit cheekier and something that we can, the moms might find different, because I've bought other products on the market in our space just to see what their unboxing experience is, and everybody was throwing candy in it, but it was pretty standard candy. I don't think anybody would actually use it or take it. I was thinking, let's make it fun. Why not? Because, that's what Hey Mom is all about, putting a smile on your face as well.
And I don't think anyone would be opposed to eating a lollipop with Zac Efron's face on it. So
definitely, and I love the jokes. I mean, all the mums were DMing me, telling me, oh, I love my Hemsworth lollipops. These are amazing. This puts a smile on my face.
I agree completely. And I did also notice that in the product that I got specifically, there were also a few little samples of some other products. Is that something that you kind of add to every box?
Yes, I do. We do sprinkle little samples just to see what the customer feedback is. And because we realized in the past when we were launching the brand, we gave a lot of samples away. And the feedback from that was that gave the mamas confidence to trust that, oh, Hey Mama is not just about making money. They actually want you to try it first. If you like it, then obviously, then you buy it. So so we've figured any new products we want to test out, just give it away. It doesn't hurt really. And if people don't like it, at least you have feedback, real feedback from your end consumer.
Amazing. And have you found that with those samples, you are actually obtaining a high volume of feedback? Would you recommend others to also try this method?
Yes, definitely. If it's feasible for you and you're able to do it, then I highly recommend giving away samples first before, committing to a large volume order in a get-go, because sometimes you're not sure if your product is actually desirable or not.
Yeah, no, I think it's really great. And it's always, as Greta talks about, is product validation. And sometimes, like you mentioned, focus groups and having real people try it. If they already fall in love with one product, then it doesn't hurt throwing in an extra one to see if they might like that new flavor, or if you're redoing your ingredients or anything like that. And I think it's a really valuable insight and very smart decision that you've made. And I guess speaking about your manufacturing and your design, you also have a pretty incredible website, which is just popping with color, popping with all of your amazing product images. Talk me through how you actually designed your website.
The website was, I guess, was lucky. So basically a friend of a friend recommended a designer, and fortunate enough, it's basically a designer that Greta actually used in the past. So I knew that whatever he creates would be really good. But it was actually a process as well, because the first couple of concepts wasn't hitting like the branding on point. So we had to give him some some ideas and mood boards so you can get an idea that we're all about fun, pops of color. And we realized that, having stylish photos is also important because it really sets the tone. It's not just about having a very nice website template. Adding, great copy and really fun photos makes a difference. And with the photographer, I was lucky enough because I found her on the Facebook groups. So she was basically a freelancer, just looking for extra work on the side. So that's why I highly recommend people going to like Facebook groups and just talking to people, putting a question out there. Does anybody know a photographer? Does anybody know a designer?
I think that's such important advice because a lot of people might think, I just need to launch my product really quickly, but they might skim over the important aspects of design, their website, and the photos they actually have taken. Was that a process that was always front of mind for you? You knew that you really wanted to dedicate time to actually get the photos right, make sure that your website's exactly how you wanted it to create this amazing brand that you do have?
The photographers, the photos, yes, but it was a bit of a hesitation there because it was, at the time, it's pretty expensive. I only had a limited budget, but I knew that photos make a difference. I mean, even when asking focus groups in Facebook, you have to sort of give people an idea of what your brand's all about. And, pictures is worth 1,000 words. So I knew the investment of like a couple $100 of getting really good photos was worth it. With the website, our first website wasn't that great because it's a bit, to create a very nice website is a lot of money. So when we first launched, our pre-launch basically did it on Shopify, like a standard template. And at first I was like cringing. I didn't like it because we don't know how to do website design, but I'm like, doesn't matter. We have people want to buy it and let's just get some money, cash flow first. And once we have enough cash, then we can sort of invest into a good designer. So about, I guess, a process, a step-by-step. Don't go all in straight away, especially if you've never done this before.
At Foundr, 99% of our content is free. Today's episode is only made possible by our incredible student community, from our magazine subscribers to the entrepreneurs enrolling in our course programs. If you are thinking of finally starting your own business, make sure to check out the exact free training that led today's guests to where they are now. Head to foundr.com/ecommerce training or follow the link in the show notes. Perfect advice. And I think, you've touched on some really great points, but did you want to walk me through how you actually got, your first customer? Did you build your email list a particular way? Did, word of mouth really help you? What did you focus in terms of marketing?
In terms of marketing, starting off was with the first focus groups and then asking them if they liked it or not. And then we had a list of people saying, I want to buy it. So I would collect their email and put it on a list, and I would contact them in a month's time or 2 months' time, whenever we're about to launch the product. And another process was probably word of mouth, definitely word of mouth, because I would DM all these ladies asking them, you love our product, we're happy to give your friends or your family members, free samples as well. So it's sort of just build on build. And another thing was probably definitely influencers, using them. At first, thank God for starting scared, to be honest, because influencer marketing was a little bit of like a hesitation. I've never done it before, but Greta sort of made it very easy with all those templates and pre-written messages that I could just copy, paste, and send to like 100 of them and see who comes back. Yeah, and just giving them free product and getting feedback. And that helps definitely, because I don't have the budget to start. I didn't have the budget to pay for PR campaigns and all that kind of stuff. So it's basically just giving your product away more and you're hoping that your product's good enough that this word of mouth builds.
Really, really interesting. And you did touch upon influencers. Talk me through the process. Were you originally just reaching out to micro influencers, or did you have a budget to put behind larger macro style influencers?
It was definitely more micro influencers. So we're trying to give products to micro influencers under about 5,000, because I knew at that range that they're more willing to do product for post. But I did want to try it out by paying some influencers about over 10,000 to see if I would get a better result by paying influencers. And I did try about 5. It wasn't that amazing compared to the micro. So I'd rather have about 20 micro influencers than 5 paid ones. But over time, I have tried a bit of more paid influencers just to see, because you should always be testing. You never know, really. I realized a lot of people will keep saying that influencer marketing doesn't work. It's more about, they have to realize that it's more about compounding effect. It's all about just getting your brand out there, not so much about sales to begin with. And once you reach a certain exposure, I guess, then you can start measuring in terms of, okay, how many sales am I getting from this influencer? How much am I getting from the other one?
So I guess with the Start and Scale course, you said that branding and influencer marketing were probably some of your biggest takeaways. Have you ever tried a different course before or been interested in undertaking a different course? And what really stood out for the Start and Scale course compared to anything else?
I've never actually tried any other e-com courses prior to Start and Scale. The reason why I went with it is probably because it's easy to implement. I mean, having the modules and just basically key points explained to you in each module and having actions to take after each one of them really helped. I mean, the other courses pretty long. It was like an hour or whatever, and I don't have the focus to go through such long courses at a time. I would say that's probably one of the good things about, that I liked about Start and Scale.
Amazing. And I definitely think it's a great way to have that step-by-step process. And did it also help with you actually launching? Like you mentioned before, you did actually do a pre-launch phase.
Definitely. Because it's so easy, like the actions they tell you to take, that I just did it. The best way to do things is just to actually do it and then tweak along the way. So you never know until you actually do it. There's no perfect first go at anything, to be honest.
Amazing. And how did you actually come about your first sale? How did it feel to actually be selling your product to people?
It was definitely amazing. The first sale I remember was from a lady that I was talking to in the Facebook group. And she said she loved it so much that she would come back and buy it. And I was a bit, I don't know, people say that, I don't know if they actually mean it. And then when she did come back and I recognized the name, I had to screenshot. I'm like, wow, that's our first sale. And this is someone I talked to 2 months ago and she loves our product. And yeah, the feeling was amazing.
That's epic. And I can only imagine that it would have just grown from there.
Yes, it did, definitely. Because she did tell friends and friends. I was fortunate enough, like, oh, she was sort of like a small business owner herself. And she wanted to support us.
Which is probably an incredible feeling, having, another small business actually take notice of your little baby business that you actually, started. And I guess, what results did you achieve in your pre-launch?
To be honest, it wasn't as amazing as I hoped for, but it was good. We didn't reach 1,000 because I had a target of 1,000 at pre-launch, because I hear all these stories on Start and Scale that, they launched with, they made $1,000, $3,000 in sales on the first day or whatever. And so when I hit 950, I'm like, I'm just a bit off. But so that was a bit demotivating, but I was looking through the Start and Scale group chats, previous history chats, and then just looking it up, and other people were saying the same thing, that, sometimes it's not about, getting amazing sales straight away. It's sort of like, you got to give it time. You're in this for the long game. Don't think about like, I need to hit crazy numbers in my first go. And that gave me the confidence and motivation to keep on doing what I'm doing, and hopefully I'll do better for our launch. And that's what happened, so just having the motivation to keep on going, was key.
That's really great advice. And I think a lot of people listening might be in the same situation where it's kind of like, I have so much pressure that I need to perform and I need to get X amount of numbers of pre-launch. But like you just said, pre-launch could be so small, and you said that you've had quite great successes since you've actually launched. Do you want to talk me through that?
Yeah, so with the actual official launch, I would say we 5 times the amount, so like $5,000 on pre-launch, and I was like blown away. So that was amazing. And then it's just things start snowballing over time after that. So like recently, I would say this last month, we're doing over 40K in sales in 1 month. So that's something I would have never imagined back when I did our pre-launch, because we were just barely making $1,000. So it goes to show that it's all about, giving things time and constantly putting effort in and just tweaking. Just don't give up.
I think that's amazing. And $40,000 a month is such a great triumph. So like, congratulations to you and your brand, because it's such a great success and a major, major win. But I guess, what do you think contributed to that massive spike? Was it releasing new products, or was it genuinely just that persistence that you've had?
I would say it was releasing new products, new flavors, and having a little bit more of structure and a system in place. So in the beginning, we had, like I mentioned, influencer marketing was a key aspect of it, but I didn't really have a system in place in terms of like following up on the influencers, keeping track who's doing deliverables, if they posted it or not. So after the launch, during the Christmas period, I guess it was a downtime where I could relax and actually go into what worked and what didn't work and how we can systemize everything. So it wasn't too overwhelming. And then we also just started doing Facebook ads last month. So that really helped because it was something we also knew we needed to work on. But this is a process of like, which one do we do first? We have to do our official launch, doing email campaigns and Facebook ads. So it's all too overwhelming. So we didn't want to focus that until we had sort of like our influencer marketing not down pat, but reasonable enough. Then we started looking into Facebook ads and that took us to another level.
That's incredible. And I think it's similar to a lot of other businesses. And I guess, have you been using some of that user-generated content and that influencer content to actually scale your ads and create your ads?
Yes, so definitely. That's what we're doing because I think Greta mentioned this in the course that the best piece of content is your UGC and your IGC because they're all authentic. It's something you can't create really. I mean, we did try to do branded content ads, like really nice, pretty pictures, all stylized, but it didn't really hit the mark because we realized our consumer didn't really connect with it. And what really connected was basically having another mom that they could relate to. So they would say about their problems they're facing and then trying, hey mama, how it changed their breastfeeding journey. So yeah, and that's all through UGC and IGC. So it's really important that people work on their influencer marketing because that's where you get these kind of creatives from.
Incredible. And I guess, with ads, it can be, for people listening, a very daunting thing. What would be some advice that you would give to those that are listening that might want to take the plunge and start dabbling in Facebook ads?
With Facebook ads, one of the reasons why we didn't dabble with it in the beginning was basically you had to give it like a set budget, like $20, $30 a day. And that was a bit of a hesitation with me because I was like, if I put $30, would I expect, what kind of return would I expect from it? And really in the beginning, you think of it this way, I had to change my mindset in terms of how I look at Facebook ads. I was sort of like, okay, I'll put, $30 a day and do it for 2-3 weeks and just think of it like I'm not going to see a return of it, but at least I can see the results and I can improve it over time. So people need to understand that $20 a day, think of it just like learning how Facebook works. And then over time, you will get better. You have to take the first step. That's the key thing. So don't expect you put $30 and you're going to get a return straight away, especially if you're starting. Just do it. And then over time, you can start increasing your budget and then you will see returns later.
Perfect advice. And I think, yeah, like you mentioned, it can be a daunting thing to dive headfirst into, but I think you've done in a really great way is establishing your influencer strategy head on and first, and then kind of expanding to something that's a little bit more tangible. And I guess you've mentioned you've created how many other products now? 6, is it?
Yeah, we got about 4 in the works. So they're all coming out this year. We have another product coming out next month and we're having an email marketing campaign around it. This is our new product. So it has a fun name, which is really on point for us. Yes, Queen. So yeah, and then also our target is basically have a new product every month for the next 4 months and see what works. And with these new product launches, we set it up where it's just a limited edition because I don't know if it's going to work or not. So having a small batch creates excitement, hype as well. And for me, it's also less risk. So I think that's a better way to do product launches.
And have you learnt, I guess, to launch another product, are you following the same start and scale concept with each product, or have you, got it down to a science now?
I'm still following the start and scale approach where it's all about the build up. There's no build up, no matter how great a product is, it may not sell. You might not get the sale that you want. So you should spend about at least 4 weeks in building up content, hype on your social media, giving samples away to your best consumers, like your best buyers, and seeing what they think about it, and hopefully get some content from them as well. And then you can build an email list, like Greta says, before launch. And then when you do launch, you're more likely to have a great launch day.
Yeah, and you're finding that the limited edition pieces that you are adding to your product count are really working. Like you mentioned hype. Do you think that's something that you'll continue to do with all of your products in the future, or is it a testing phase after that hype wears off? You're going to keep it as a main product?
We're keeping it as probably a promo product to create hype, because I realized that, at first my approach was basically when we have a new product, I wanted to give like a 25% discount or 20% discount special launch day price for the new product. But I thought, giving someone 20% discount works out to be maybe $6 or something, but it's not going to excite people. They're not going to talk about it. But if you created like a limited edition mug to go with this new product that they can't buy anywhere or in your store, it creates excitement. And maybe the product, the mug or whatever, we end up doing the promo like lollipops. If you actually work out the numbers, it's actually cheaper than giving 20% discount outright. And they cherish the product, that freebie or that mug or that lollipop, more than you giving someone 20%.
That's a really interesting way to look at it. And I guess a lot of people might not even weigh up that option. They just might think it's a discount, but having that tangible product that people can hold in their hands and post on social media is really exciting.
Yes, that's right. Definitely right. And especially if you can somehow integrate your branding or logo into that free gift or whatever, that's even better.
I agree completely. And, following the same steps and following all the guidance from Greta, do you think that you'll stay an e-commerce store, or are you hoping in the future maybe to do some wholesaling and things like that?
Definitely, we do want to look into wholesale and export, like listening to Greta. And I guess you will reach a certain stage with e-com that you need to look into other aspects like wholesale and export, because you want to reach new audiences that you can't reach through e-com. But if you're starting off, definitely start off just with e-com, because you get to talk to the consumer directly and work out what's working, what isn't working before going to wholesale. And with wholesale, you don't get paid straight away as well. So that's another thing, especially if cash flows are an issue when you're starting off.
For sure. And I guess bringing it back from taking the course, describe your life after doing Start and Scale. Has it completely just flipped and changed where you thought you would be?
Yeah, definitely. My friends and family, they're saying that, oh my God, it's been like a year ago, you weren't really, I guess, motivated to do much about, because work's work, nothing changes. And then starting this new business, hey mama, there's sort of like this excitement in your face. And every time you talk about Hey Mama, you feel so passionate. I would definitely say my life is like 360, to be honest. And now I'm just meeting new people, meeting new business owners in the Start and Scale and connecting with them, having chats, having small little groups once a week. We talk about how's it going with their business and how we can help each other in a way. So that's been really good. So having that community aspect and I guess sort of being friends as well has helped. So overall, it's been amazing.
So I guess, you've mentioned that you've had quite the journey, and Start and Scale has helped you actually bring relationships with other entrepreneurs that you might not have had in the real world, which is really, really exciting. And I think it's great that it's been able to leverage, those relationships. But towards wrapping up now, I guess if there was other young entrepreneurs in your position, what would be the key advice that you would give to them today?
So just start, basically. But when you start, try everything. But keep it at like a budget. So basically don't go all in, because if you're just starting out and you have no experience in e-com, you don't know if it's going to work. So if you put $5,000 in developing amazing packaging and it wasn't on point to begin with, it's going to hurt. So try to keep your risks minimum and actually talk to your focus group. Actually DM them and ask them questions and see if what you've done is right and you're ready to launch. But yeah, I think the key thing is to just start. I hear a lot of people, even my friends, talk about all these business ideas, but they don't do anything about it. And when they do, they're like, oh, they think it's very complicated. They need X amount of dollars or a fancy website. To be honest, you don't.
That's great advice. And I think a lot of people would definitely take that on board and either, sign up to the Start and Scale course, or actually just have the confidence from hearing your story, and that, pre-launch might not be big, but you have the potential to scale astronomically just like you have. So I really want to thank you for taking the time and sitting down and talking with me and everyone listening to share your story and hear your inspiration and the confidence that you've got now. And yeah, I think a lot of people will find it very, very valuable.
Oh, I hope so. I mean, listening to Greta and everybody in the Start and Scale family gave me a lot of confidence and motivation to start. And yeah, definitely listening to other people's stories does give you the confidence to go for it.
Amazing. I want to thank you again, Lisa, for taking the time and sitting down with me and sharing your story again. And I hope you have an amazing day.
Oh, you too. Thank you, Molly.
Hey guys, we hope you're loving From Zero to Foundr and you're getting a ton of value from it. If you want access to the exact free training that led today's founder to where they are now, head to foundr.com/ecommerce training or follow the link in the show notes.